Unless you really, really hated Tesla, or all you did was listen to the mainstream media, you'd believe that BYD were now selling more electric cars than Tesla are. They did in the fourth quarter of last year, but they aren't now. In fact, Tesla's lead has dramatically bounced back over BYD. That said, both companies, I think, are doing really, really well. BYD's sales in March was staggering. The company sold an incredible number of electric cars. However, after the first quarter in 2024, Tesla has unquestionably retaken back its EV king lead. Now, the real question here, guys, is going to be this. Q2. Who will win Q2, BYD or Tesla? What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think. Hello, my friends. Great to see you. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. BYD's sales have just come in for the first quarter of this year. And we don't yet have Tesla's official numbers, but we know an approximate number. BYD recorded over 300,000 EV sales in the first quarter of 2024. In fact, they delivered exactly 300,114 fully electric cars. For some context here, the media might report on this and you might be getting confused thinking, hang on a minute, the Electric Viking said this and I'm hearing this and that's not true. But okay, in March, BYD sold 300,000 vehicles, period, just for March. But about half of those were EVs and half of those were plug-in hybrids, which, yeah, they're not fully electric cars. And of course, if we're going to compare to two types of vehicle, then BYD's definitely ahead of Tesla because they sold more cars than Tesla did in the first quarter. Not that many more, but they sold more. But if we're going to talk about just EVs, Tesla sold between 420 to 490,000. Those are the estimates. So a lot more than 300,000. It's not really a close race in the first quarter. The second quarter of this year, though, that'll be very different because, of course, the first 3 months of the year in China, there's always a slowdown in terms of vehicle sales, period, for the entire country. What does that mean? Well, that means that BYD sold 13.4% more cars in Q1 of this year versus Q1 of last year. BYD's electric vehicle sales, though, rose by a little bit less than that, by 9%. Even though they delivered 300,000 EVs, they actually only produced a bit less than that, 291,730. So they clearly had, about 8,300 vehicles in inventory from last year that they delivered this year. Plug-in hybrid sales increased by 14.5%, which is, to me, quite a surprise because that's where BYD's quality issues have come in. BYD definitely has had quality issues. And I know there's a lot of hardcore BYD fans out there that when I say this, they lambast me in the comments, but actually it's true. If BYD wasn't selling plug-in hybrids, you wouldn't see about 500 videos on YouTube talking about BYD's car fires. Look at all BYD's electric cars blowing up and exploding. There's so many of them. But 95% of those cars in those videos are plug-in hybrids. And there's more complaints about BYD's plug-in hybrids by a factor of 10 to 1 versus their EVs. So I don't really understand the focus on plug-in hybrids. I just think BYD's EVs are fantastic. People love them. The plug-in hybrids in China, they're hit and miss, put it that way. BYD are clearly focusing on them though. They believe that that's where a lot of their growth will come. So I can understand that. BYD delivered 324,284 plug-in hybrids for the first 3 months of the year versus 300,000 fully electric cars. That means overall sales were 626,000. BYD is saying that they will deliver by the end of this year. Their goal is 4 million cars. They've got a stretch goal. They've told suppliers their stretch goal is 4.2 million. But they've officially said they're officially going for 3.6 million. A bit confusing here because BYD they have confirmed 4 million is their goal for this year. Then they're saying, well, 3.6, but our official goal is 4 million. But 3.6 will do that. But 4.2 million is for suppliers. Yeah, if Tesla did this, I think people would be going, what? I'm not sure what you're saying here. I'm a bit confused. So I'm not exactly sure here. But BYD, I believe from the CEO's comments, they're aiming for 4 million. So that means they've got quite a way to go here, don't they? They're going to have to deliver about 3.4 million cars over the next 9 months. Can they do that? Absolutely. Will they do it? Yeah, I actually think they will. Orphan EV sales rose by 13% year over year, which is not bad. And that means, though, that they were down a little bit from the over 526,400 cars sold in the fourth quarter of last year, which is pretty normal. Tesla has not reported its delivery figures, but of course they're going to be much higher than 300,000. Wall Street is saying delivery figures of between 425,000 to 475,000. In other words, absolutely no one knows. Troy Teslike, I'm sure he's going to make his predictions, which, that's just it's really an educated guess, you might say. The average Wall Street consensus, though, is 458,500. Of course, if that were true, Tesla would have sold 158,000 more EVs than BYD. Now, if you compare BYD's sales to some of its rivals in China, it's doing incredibly well. I mean, 302,000 deliveries, right, in March. Now look at NIO, 11,000 deliveries for NIO in March. 11. Wow. XPeng, 9,000 deliveries in March. Li Auto, not pretty good, 28,984, but it still means that was only less than 10% of what BYD delivered. So you can see BYD here, actually, it's still crushing it in China. It has reduced the price of its cars significantly, but it might start to raise those prices as demand picks up in China. Will it, though? I mean, China's economy is definitely struggling. The collapse of the $500 billion Evergrande, all that debt has to be absorbed by the economy, all that debt. And there's a lot of other property developers who are clearly struggling. The Chinese economy, it's going to be a big challenge because BYD, of course, more than 90% of their cars are sold in China. They're relying on that Chinese economy to continue growing. Will it grow this year? A lot of people think it won't. Now, let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.